Welcome back to Good Day. It is time for our latest segment, Mother Knows Best, and we're here with the beautiful mothers. We're glad you guys have all joined us this morning. Well, our first topic of the day, we want to talk about how to keep your kids healthy and in shape. Is this something that's important to you? Is it kind of on the back burner? Is it an issue? And so first of all, what are some things, is this important to you? And if yes or no, and kind of go along with that.
It's important to me. I have a confession to make. My kids do better with staying in shape than me. All of them are very athletic and energetic. They get it from the daddy. My daughter, she wants to be on track next year. I got another one that loves volleyball. And then my son, he's just a big ball of energy anyway. Of course, it's important because of the family history. In my family, we have a history of diabetes and high blood pressure. So I watch what we cook and how we eat. As far as exercising, that's a struggle. I'm not going to lie, that's a struggle. My kids keep me motivated, so I appreciate them.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of exercise.
We're being honest.
I'm scared. And you know, we are guardians of our grown nephew who lives with us. So what we try to do is perhaps find a pool we can go to and swim. That's something we enjoy. We will walk when it's not too hot, and we have an exercise bike in the house.
There you go.
That we try to challenge each other with.
Very good.
Yeah, it's important to me. I'm like you. My kids are full of energy, especially in the summertime. You know, they want to go swimming, they want to do this, that. And I like the concept, I like
Yeah, it's a good
idea.
Yeah.
Okay, we're keeping it real here, guys.
That's a good idea.
But actually, I have a friend who makes hula hoops. And
Yes.
when we get together, we hoop outside. It's a lot of fun, and that's about, what I do. And I like getting in the pool and things like that. But for the kids, I don't need to really push them to do that. Now, eating is a whole different, that's a different thing.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But
I think this is confession couch.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
Confession couch. I hate to exercise. When I was an active duty military member, I got paid to exercise, and that was just fine.
Whoa.
But I don't. But I don't do it now. But I do try and make opportunities for my children to do that. It is important to me, and I try to encourage them to try and be active, even if it's not exercise. Just stay busy. Get up off the couch.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, and even with I did good. I had lost 30 pounds some years ago, and I did really, really good at it. I got sick, and then I maintained real well. And then after my sister passed away, I just quit it, because when I would go walking in the morning time, she lived out of state. She would call me on the way to work, so she was my walking buddy. So it's been hard to get back. But just the other week, my daughter Michaela, she was saying, "Mama, get up and exercise with me." And after about 10 minutes, I had asthma. But it's a start. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so let's talk about some issues. We read in the news sometimes, there are schools that do tests on children and determine if they're classified as obese or not. And so how would you feel if your child, came home and they're like, my school told me that I was obese, whether they were or whether they weren't, or maybe they're getting made fun of and being called, names by other kids. What is your reaction to that? How do you handle it?
Well, I have to say, I had a friend of mine who, I didn't realize this, but in public schools, with the report card, they give you that report. Well, I have a friend of mine whose son came home with his end of the year report card, thin as a rail. The kid is an athlete, really healthy kid. And they made a mistake on his height for his BMI. And so he came home with, the report on the bottom saying that he is dangerously obese. And he read this on the way home. He came home in tears, Mom, what's wrong with me? And I think I understand the motivation that the school's trying to do that, but if they're going to do something like that, it should really be between the parents and the school, and not give that kind of information to the kids.
Kids have enough pressure on them
Absolutely.
already.
Exactly.
We're just heaping more and more pressure on these kids. And
Right. I have teenage daughters, and one of them is heavier than the other, and they have come home talking about how people talk about their appearance. The one thing that I try and tell them is, you're individually made, and you're beautiful the way that you're made. There's nothing wrong. You have different strengths than other people. You're not going to look like that person. So let's celebrate the things that you have going on. Let's look at the features that you really like. What do you like about that? Okay, how can we build on that and try to get them to focus on the positives?
Very good. We're going to be back in just a moment talking more about this issue of our children and nutrition and exercise, so make sure to stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mother Knows Best. We've been talking about nutrition and health for your youngins, and we want to know now, if your child is overweight, would you, in a hypothetical situation, would you try to secretly kind of help them without saying anything, but you feed them the food because you're controlling, you know, what's going in them, and encourage them to do things and do things with them to exercise? Or would you address it and then kind of encourage them and give them confidence? So, because we don't want this to become an obsessive, a bad problem. It could go in a very bad direction. What are your thoughts on how that would work?
Well, I think really the most important thing is kids model, watch, you know, you have to model. So you can't sit on the couch, even if you're, you know, at a good body weight, you can't sit on the couch eating a bag of potato chips and say, go out and exercise, you know. Well, no, you can't do that. So, you know, modeling is at the base of it. You know, you don't ask them to do anything that you wouldn't be willing to do.
Okay.
We've actually I've done some secretive things at my house.
Are they watching? Should they?
Yeah, wait.
I hope they're not. Turn the TV off.
Yeah.
All right. One of the things that I do have an overweight dog, so I went out and I bought my dog a new dog collar and dog leash, and I asked the children, please walk the dog. And that's a technique to try and get my kids to go walking, because it's for the dog, it's not because mommy thinks that you need to go do that. The other thing is, I know what their trigger foods are, and those aren't on the grocery list.
That's true.
And see, for me, y'all know I'm the keep it like it is type, real. And of course, you don't want to hurt their feelings. My middle daughter, she was real chunky and plump when she was a baby, and my oldest daughter was always skinny and slim. And so people made comments. You know, she's the plump one, and it did bother her. I didn't have to say anything. Of course, she's had a growth spurt. Now she's tall and slim, and her oldest sister. I mean, so kids are going to have growth spurts. But when it comes to certain things, I let them know, okay, baby, eating this all the time is not going to be good for you because you have to grow up. Mommy used to be able to eat that. I used to have abs. Now I'm negative. I have a negative six-pack. And so, we are real with it. Of course, we don't want to hurt their feelings, but we have to let them know, in order to avoid this, this, and this, you have to do this, and you have to start good habits now.
Very good.
And there's a great website. It's choosemyplate.gov. It has got a lot of tips and things on, you know, kids and healthy eating. You know, we used to have a food pyramid. Well, we have a food plate now.
Yes,
instead of the
they
pyramid.
changed it all up on us.
But they have all kinds of tips for kids and parents, exercise, shopping, all kinds of stuff. They also have what I noticed was really interesting is a separate BMI scale for children that you can click on.
great.
Because, you know,
I
they
would
have
love that.
keeping in remembering that they have growth spurts and things like that.
Yeah.
You don't figure it out the same way you do for an adult. So there's a child's and teens BMI scale. So this is a really good site to take a look at.
Okay. And Janet, you have kind of some insight on this.
Well, we became caregivers to our nephew when he lost his mom a couple of years ago. And one of his diagnoses is Asperger's, which in many children will make them just crave sweets. And I was really feeling like the food police, always, you know, trying to get him to eat healthy. And so what we did was come to a compromise. We try to eat healthy all week long. And then Friday, we have something called Fast Food Friday. And Charles gets to pick on Friday whether he wants to go to Dairy Queen, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Burger King, whatever we may have in Camilla, you know. And he gets, it's on, you know, whatever he wants to eat is there. And then it kind of gives him motivation to work healthier. We keep fruit on the table so he knows that's free. He can go and eat there. And, you know, it's a daily struggle because those cravings are there. And his brain is telling him he really needs that. So I'm just so proud of him when he does take that bite of that apple, go and choose that apple instead of something that is less healthy for him.
Very good. We're going to be back in just a moment to talk more about meal planning and health and nutrition. Stay with us. Welcome back to Good Day. We're talking with Mother Knows Best, our beautiful panel here. We've been talking about health and nutrition with our kids. We're switching over now, talking about meal planning. So do you guys meal plan, yes or no? Why do you do it? Why do you think it's a good or bad idea? Thoughts?
I have a loose meal plan.
Okay.
Because again, you know, we're a unique little family, and so the joke around the house is I cook more for the dogs than I do for the family, because I cook for them every day, chicken and rice, yeah. But for us, I buy the chicken tenders, and we'll come home, we'll buy the great big bag of the boneless, skinless chicken tenders, and we'll put them in different bags, and we'll do the different marinades. So like lemon pepper maybe one night, barbecue sauce one night, teriyaki, pineapple one night, and then I throw them all up in the freezer, and then when it comes time to eat, you just doesn't take any time to thaw out, throw it in the pan, saute it, and a couple of sides, and you're good to go.
Very good.
And then other than that, we're just, sometimes it will be a cereal kind of night,
Yeah.
or Uncle Jack will make waffles or something like
Breakfast
that.
for dinner, that's
Yeah.
nice fun.
I like that.
I do meal planning. As a single parent, it's not even an option. I have to do it in order to stay on top of what goes on. But I do it kind of like a puzzle. I mean, the grocery ads come out on Wednesday, and so I pull those out. I make a list of the things that are in the ads that I think, wow, this is really great. This is what we eat, and it's on sale. And so I make that list, and then from that list, I have this thing that I put, and it has, you can get these at the hobby stores and things like that, but it has magnets on the back. The beauty of it is you hang it on the refrigerator, and you don't get a million questions. Mom, what's for dinner? Because what's for dinner is written on the thing. And so I actually go through and just write it out, and I try to actually, whatever meal we're having on Monday, can I use the leftovers from that to make a different meal on Tuesday? And because I work, I try to make it something that's pretty simple. I mean, like tacos tonight can be chili tomorrow,
Very good.
And see, for us, I meal plan and I coupon. I'm not an extreme couponer, but I'm trying to coupon and meal plan my way into our dream home. And so it helps out in a lot of areas because you can watch what you buy as far as healthy foods. With us, my crock pot is it saves my life because you can put it in there, and I mean, it makes everything really quick. We do have our cereal nights. My husband, he cooks, thank you, Jesus. My kids, my kids are older, so my daughters cook. So it's a little bit more convenient for me than it was when they were younger. When they were younger, I had to really prep foods, and my mama, she told me, when you go buy groceries, just have that day for groceries. Go home, already season your foods, put them in Ziploc bags, so the day that you need them, you can just pop them out, put them in your crock pot or on the grill, and that has worked. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, and I do my meal planning definitely around sales.
Yes.
And because I do coupon, I'm not an extreme couponer either. And there are seasons that, when life gets really busy that I don't do that, I put that aside. But I do always plan around sales. So rather than make up your meal plan on Sunday night and then see what's on sale, I'll see what's on sale first and put my meal plan around that. You know.
Okay, so let's talk about eating out. Do you guys do that a lot during the week? Is it like a go-to if you don't feel like making food, or do it just on the weekends?
We usually stay pretty, now during the school year, like right now we're getting ready for production, we have play practice and everything, so a lot of times we don't have the time to. I'm trying to limit the eating out because it cuts out so many other luxuries that we could have. So we try to do it when it's convenient. My husband and I have the kids, the house to ourselves because our kids are going this week. So we're just going to splurge. But I mean, eating out, we do try to cut that down to save on money. But we do it from time to time.
I'll tell you, it was astonishing to me when I tried to get a grip on my food costs when I realized how much money I was actually spending on eating out because it's $20 here, $20 there, things like that. And what I discovered is I put an envelope in my purse because they tell you, journal everything. I'm not going to pull a journal out and do that. I put an envelope in my purse, and every time I got a receipt, instead of shoving it in my wallet, I shoved it in my purse. I got some, I missed others, but at the end of about 3 weeks, I pulled them out, and my eyes got this big. You are kidding me. I spent that much money on fast food and restaurant eating? Oh, my word. And that really motivated us to start looking at how to eat at home more.
Very good. Some great tips this morning. We're going to be back in just a moment with more Mother Knows Best. Stick with us. We are back with Mother Knows Best. We've been talking about meal planning this morning. So you had mentioned, Bridget, that you have this secret Sam's thing that you do.
Yes, I'm an exclusive member at Sam's Club. And that's helped us out as far as eating out too, because they sell the big, huge packs of the different favorites that my kids have, pizza and the sandwiches and so forth. So that has helped us save a lot of money as well. That, with knowing to never go grocery shopping hungry, that's our saver. Yeah.
Very good.
I've also learned, though, you got to be careful at Sam's. I still read the cost per
Yes,
ounce? Because
yeah,
they're not
yeah.
always the cheapest. You
Yeah,
know, it depends.
yeah, you're right.
You're paying for convenience sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point when you're talking about the cost per ounce. One of the things, although we've said before, you don't ever want to take your kids shopping, right? You don't ever take them with you. But when I do take them with me, I try and use that as a time for kind of check the math. Look and see, yeah, this may be the least expensive, but look at the price per ounce. So you can teach them a little bit about how to do that.
And you know, I do bring one kid at a time. It's the groups that you
Yeah.
know, that are a problem. But I find, first of all, it's kind of good time, one-on-one time with my kids. And I also find that they are, you know, when I give them the list, they help me find it and everything like that. But then at the end, they help me pack and they see how much it's all cost. Because when they're together, they're talking, they're chit-chatting, they don't see that. And they are always blown away by,
I bet.
you're spending this much, you know. So that kind of helps put things in perspective.
Right.
I actually have my son, who, even when he was younger, who would write the grocery list as we would go. Sometimes you would get the list and you couldn't read it, but it gets them invested in actually realizing what's going to go in the cart.
And keep track of prices. Sometimes they'll have a little calculator and they'll add it all up and
That's
kind
really
of make a
neat.
game out of it, see how close they were.
That's some good tips. How often do you go grocery shopping?
Well, you know, I live in Camilla, and I think a lot of our viewers do live out. You know, it's not just a quick run to the grocery store. So we try to come up here and go to Sam's once a month, and that's like our big, you know, monthly thing. And then when we start running out of milk or bread and stuff like that, we'll go hit one of the stores in Camilla, you know, and catch up on that or produce or whatever. But we try to do our big shopping once a month. And with only 3 of us in the house, it's really not that difficult to do.
And see, I go every week, every sales week. I may not have to buy a full buggy of groceries, but if there's a really good special and I got a really good coupon, then I'm always on the lookout for that to create a mini stockpile. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, we go once a week also, and I try to go on Tuesdays because that's when stuff's marked down because they're trying to move it out before the Wednesday ads come out for the new items.
Yeah.
So we will go, but we try, especially when we're buying produce, try to buy the stuff fresh right before the day before you're going to eat it or something like that. And it's just a quick trip.
Yeah, it is.
Very good. Okay, so do you, how far out do you meal plan? 1 week, it sounds like?
Two.
Two.
We do two.
Yeah.
I do one.
One.
I do one.
Yeah.
All right. Real fast, we have about 2 or so minutes left. Your best tips for meal planning and grocery shopping. Go.
Best tips. Not only don't take your children, sometimes don't take your husband if he's hungry. That's a disaster. Meal planning, try to keep it variety and try to alternate the meals so that they won't get tired of the same old, same old.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have my list, and at the end of my list, I have how much that's supposed to spend on that item. Like it'll be milk, $3, and I keep it to that. So when I walk out of that store, I already know within $5 or $10 how much I should spend, and I really try to keep it to that. Because when you're on a budget, which I think everybody is now, you know, and you go into Sam's Club, you can spend a lot more than you have planned.
Yep.
Yeah, it all looks good.
Yep.
Involve your kids. I know people say, I'm busy, I don't have the time and everything, but it's an issue of training. And you can train them about, while you're talking about what we're going to shop and buy this week or what we're going to what meals we're going to make, you can explain to them why you're doing that. You know, this is good for you to eat, this isn't good for you to eat, why? And just keep them involved. It's a training thing.
Very good.
And I would say, don't let the idea of cooking at home intimidate you. No matter how busy you are, it's better to just put a simple entree and a canned vegetable on a plate than to run out to fast food every night.
Very good.
And
Thank
salads
you
can make a
so
good
much.
meal.
Was it salad?
Salads can make
Makes a great
that's
meal.
That's a big Sunday meal for them.
If you guys have any topics that you'd like for us to discuss on Mother Knows Best, you can email us at mothers@wfxl.com. Go to mysouthwestga.com for more information on our panel. We'll see you in the morning. It's Friday. Actually, it's Thursday. No, Tuesday.